It's like a match made for Kevin. Get it?
Very good.
At Navy Federal, our mission has been to help the military community for over 85 years. During Military Appreciation Month, we're celebrating the commitment that connects us. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Millions of illegals crossing our border every year. It's a full-blown crisis. The very first thing they've done in America is defy our rules. They're lawbreakers. And just like Joe Biden, politicians like Sandy Smith would reward their lawbreaking with amnesty. Probably because Sandy Smith repeatedly breaks our rules herself. Smith won't follow ethics rules by disclosing her financial investments and conflicts of interest. Sure makes you think Sandy Smith's hiding something. And Sandy Smith went bankrupt, owing her creditors thousands without paying. Then failed to pay her taxes on time. Bankruptcy, back taxes, and amnesty. That's shady, but that's Sandy Smith. Want to stop lawbreakers? Then stop Sandy Smith. Congressional Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.congressionalleadershipfund.org.
Hey, Chandler, what are you up to tonight?
Jenny, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to go sing with DJ Captain Morgan for karaoke at The Buck.
Well, that sounds like fun. I have to work. Well, what are you up to this weekend?
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to go listen to some live music Friday and Saturday night at The Buck.
Live music all weekend long, really?
Yep, all weekend, and they also have the biggest high-definition screen to watch all the sporting events on Sunday Funday.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, just check out The Buck on Facebook or Instagram for all the information. The Buck. Hey, Wood Ducks fans, be sure to purchase your single game tickets online at woodducksbaseball.com or by calling our front office at Granger Stadium. Advanced ticket prices for Sunday through Thursday are just $7. Friday and Saturday tickets are $12. Do you have a big group? No problem. Book your group tickets by contacting our front office now. We hope to see you out at Granger Stadium all season long. Let's go, Woodies.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, Classic Cola, Cherry Cola, Citrus Soda, and Orange Soda. You hear that? It's seltzer with a pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Pick up some new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda at your favorite retailer today. Bud Light, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989, and the official beer of the ECU Pirates.
Welcome to US Cellular.
Yeah, hi. I want a new phone for free, but not just any phone. I want the newest, fastest, most storage holding 5G unlimited data using phone in here for free.
Sure, your choice.
Really?
Yep.
At US Cellular, we put you first. So choose any phone from any brand free. Plus, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
We all love using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and grocery pickup. It makes life so much easier. Well, now there is cellular delivery, and the team at Cellular Warehouse has perfected the process. They will deliver your new phone right to your door with all your information loaded on the new phone. And the best thing is there is no charge for this awesome service. And you don't have to waste half the day sitting in a Cellular store. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team of experts make your cellular delivery today. Cellular Warehouse, your local US Cellular authorized agent, serving all of Eastern North Carolina.
Hey guys, this is Kyra from Postcode Junction in Washington, where all your shipping needs come together. Did you know Postcode Junction is the only UPS, FedEx, and DHL shipping location in Washington? Postcode Junction is also the place for your Amazon returns. Need to ship a package the same day? Want to avoid the long lines at the post office? Come see us at Postcode Junction by 4:30 and we got you covered. Postcode Junction on 15th Street in Washington next to Tractor Supply. Go Pirates!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler,
Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show as we kick off our sports week right here on Pirate Radio. And Monday is a huge day for Pirate Radio. First of all, on our show, we're going to talk high school baseball, softball, and Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Coming up on my show, Ronald Vincent, RV, the head coach of the Rose High Rampants. His Rampants are in the 3A state playoffs, and they are set to play again coming up tomorrow night. Pat Mcrae, the head coach at South Central, will also join us. His Falcons are still alive in the state playoffs. On the smaller diamond for D.H. Conley softball, Wayne Deans will join us in the second half hour on our show. And Todd Gibson from WNCN-TV, who formerly worked at the Big Nine here in Greenville. Todd Gibson covers the Hurricanes on a daily basis, and he will join us in the last 15 minutes or so of our show. Later on today on Pirate Radio Live, Cliff Godwin, the head coach of the Pirates, after East Carolina clinches a third consecutive American Athletic Conference regular season championship. The Pirates were champs in 2019. The season canceled in 20, and then 21 and 22 now. East Carolina has clinched. Pirates play Campbell coming up tomorrow night, and then Houston comes to town for a 3-game series Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we head to Clearwater for the American Athletic Conference tournament, and we'll be with you live next week on the Brian Bailey Show from Clearwater, Florida, to get you set for tournament play. We got a big show coming up. Ronald Vincent, RV, kicks us off. We're back with more on the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best. Everybody loves burgers.
The furniture savings have never been better than right now during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Red, White, and Used sale. Savings as high as 70% off clearance items, closeouts, and discontinued items, plus store-wide discounts on new and in-stock merchandise, plus 12 months special financing. We have the looks, the styles you want in stock. Sleep better and save on a quality mattress with 72 months special financing. This Memorial Day, it's all about the Red, White, and You at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It's bow time. Our biscuit makers know a thing or two about scratch-made buttermilk biscuits.
Actually, it's 49.
That's right, 49 savory steps. So yeah, we know biscuits like the back of our hand. Because, well, these buttermilk biscuits are...
made by hand.
Yep, that Southern know-how is our bread and butter. And if you're still wondering what makes a Bojangles biscuit so good, well, just ask your mouth. Yep, that's what we thought. Come celebrate Bo's Buttermilk Biscuit Month with a scratch-made Cajun Filet biscuit. It's bow time.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
What's going on, y'all? This is your man, Petey Pablo, and right now you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Raise up!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, talking high school baseball, high school softball, Carolina Hurricanes hockey, and, of course, East Carolina baseball later today on Pirate Radio. RV joins us first. Ronald Vincent, North Carolina's all-time winningest high school baseball coach, a new honor for RV. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But, Coach, first of all, congratulations as you guys are on to round 3 in these state playoffs.
Yeah, it gets tough now. It gets real. Now the third round is real. Now you're going to have to play every game. You know, it's going to be pitch by pitch. It's tough times now.
What did you think when you got the news that the field at Guy Smith Stadium will now be Ronald Vincent Field, Ronald RV Vincent Field? I mean, it's just it's got a great feel to it. I mean, if there's something that you could do for somebody, I mean, that's obviously the great decision that was made, unanimous by the city council. But I mean, there's been so many. I feel like I've seen a bunch of games there, especially in the playoffs, and to having coached there for so many years, won so many games. I mean, that's got to mean a lot to you.
Oh, yes, it does. You know, something I never considered, never even thought about it. Somebody came up to me about 4 or 5 weeks ago and said they were, going to try to get it through and whatever happened. I said, well, thank you, but that spent a lot of time out there, hadn't we, Brian?
I tell you, no, you spent a lot of time out there. I can't imagine if you could count up the hours that you've spent out there with practices and watching, making sure the field's right for Babe Ruth games and games that you guys play in, playoff games. I mean, the hours are astronomical.
Yeah, it is, and the people that have come through there, and 99% of the people come through there are just great people, and it's been a good experience getting the people, all these people around, and it is quite an honor, and I'm overwhelmed really. I just don't know what to think about it. But we'll get it done.
Yes, sir. You gotta win some more games, don't you? I mean, this is a state championship run that you're on. Hopefully, a couple more wins and get through there. But obviously, it's so difficult. The league itself, I think, helped get you guys ready, didn't it?
Right. Because we really play between Conley and South Central and New Bern. Conley is really, you can see great pitching every night. It's tough competition, and you have to play. You have to play all 21 outs. The pressure situation. It does help a lot. It does help a lot, and then our non-conference schedule with some really good teams on it. It's a big deal, and you play good teams, and then you just hope you get good breaks in the playoffs. So maybe the umpire realized the field he's on, he needs to call for that guy.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great advantage now. That you need to bring that up when you go to home plate, you and Marvin.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's good stuff. All right, so far in the playoffs, the Rapids have beaten Western Alamance 6-0, beat Southern League 10-0. So your pitching staff's looking pretty good. You've outscored the competition 16-0. Has that been a surprise to you that you guys have played so well through 2 games?
Yeah, the scores have been a surprise. We have been playing pretty good most of the year anyhow, and here at the end of the year we played real good with, our pitching and defense is so solid, and then we've got hitters that when they get to the second, third time through the lineup, these hitters make adjustments, and we do a real good job hitting the ball all over the field, and so pitching and defense gives our guys a chance to get to that third at bat and make things happen late in the game. So far, the first 2 games in playoffs, we've really played well. Obviously, by looking at the score, and our pitching has been good, but now we got the hitting is always something you worry about especially when you're facing pitchers like the one tomorrow night's going to Carolina, and so you have to really compete when you're batting and really have to take good at bats.
And this time of year, Coach, that's really all it takes sometimes is that one shutdown pitcher that can derail your state championship run.
Yeah, one shutdown pitcher and a single elimination, and you got 21 outs, and you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes it just takes one guy to knock you out, and you'd be done. And But that's the nature of the game. It works in favor of each team sooner or later. So, but it is a lot of intensity because it's a one game. It's just 21 ounces, and the game's over. So.
That's exactly right. You know, when you look at the brackets, and I know you don't look ahead, but in all 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, it seems like a lot of the different seeds, the lower seeds, the higher seeds, I mean, we're getting 21s beating 6s and 5s and that kind of thing. I mean, you know, it hasn't gone like it was supposed to in a lot of places, has it?
Yeah, it's really crazy, you know, and there's a couple things happened that really, you know, these higher seeds especially, ran in 4A and stuff, these higher seeds run into a hot pitcher or something, or a team that's playing well, and it's just really crazy how the brackets are. You know, they take the max preps rankings and stuff, and they're pretty accurate, except for over the course of a season they're real accurate, but over one game 21 out situation, anything can happen, especially in baseball. You know, in other sports, in baseball, it's just crazy. You can really outplay the other team and still lose. So.
Yeah, so far in the rampant bracket, it has gone chalk as far as Orange being the 8th seed, Rose being the top seed. But the other half where you guys are looking at, South Central's still alive. We're going to talk with Pat Mcrae coming up in just a few minutes. And North Brunswick pulled off a big upset over First Flight. So that's the game we'll preview in the next 15 minutes or so with Coach Mcrae. But good to see the Falcons still alive with your rampants from the Big Carolina 3A, 4A.
Yeah, and you know, they have that pitching and defense also. They've got two great pitchers and a lot of speed on defense and play so good. And you know, South Central, the second game was supposed to be at Scotland County because they were going to be a 2 seed or a 3 seed, and Scotland County got beaten. And they thought they were going to have to go to First Flight. First Flight got beat. So
yeah.
South Central playing home.
That's right.
And they're a very solid team. Very difficult to beat South Central. They play such good defense and pitch so well. So it's North Brunswick came up and beat a good First Flight. First Flight has some real good pitching. So it's a crazy game, Brian.
It is that, especially when you get in the playoffs. I think that you add the pressure of the end of everything, especially with your seniors. Who they know that if they don't win a state championship, that last out, that's the last time they'll play with that bunch of guys, and some will go on to the collegiate ranks, but most of them will hang up the cleats forever. As far as baseball goes, and I think the finality of it all has something to do with some of the nerves and that kind of. And then you just see some teams get on a roll.
Yeah, and like I say, the finality of it, right here at the end of school too. So they're going to finish up school, finish up baseball, and most of them will never play again. And so we're going to leave it all out there on the field, and try not to get caught up in it, like you just said. That all that, we just play the best of you, stay loose, and get after it.
We were talking the other night, and I said I've always had a lot of respect for high school baseball coaches, all high school coaches, but especially baseball, because there's so much going on late in the season. You got the prom, you got graduation, you got the playoffs, you got all that stuff going on, and now you add in all the social media aspect of it.
Oh my God!
And it's just, and really, as a high school coach, you don't have time to monitor all of that, and I just can't imagine what that's like.
We talk to them all the time about that, about staying off of it, doing this, doing that, and it's man, they know everything. They talk to they got this friend here and this friend there, and they talk, but it's a different world, Brian.
It is a different world. I'm kind of glad that whole social media aspect wasn't around when I was coming around, because I got a feeling that old Brian Bailey might have gotten in trouble over some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I tell them, if you don't want your grandmama to read it, don't write it.
That's a great thought. That's exactly right. I may quote you on that. If you don't want your grandmother to read it, don't write it. Very good. All right, before we let you go, Coach, this Orange team comes to town. You talked about their pitching a little bit. What else will you see in this Orange ball club?
Well, they've got 2 or 3 other guys. Barini's for East Carolina. His brother is one of the starters on the team, one of the players on the team, and they have 7 or 8 pitchers that are good. But of course, Hitch is the best one, and They're very solid. They always are. We've played them before in the playoffs, and they're very, very solid team. Very hard to beat.
Orange is the 8th seed. J.H. Rose, the number 1 seed in the 3A East bracket. Of course, the Rampants are the defending state champion. First pitch tomorrow, 6 o'clock at Guy Smith Stadium and Ronald Vincent Field. Right?
How about that?
That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. All right, Coach, good luck. We won't hold you any longer. We thank you for your time today on this Monday, and best of luck to those Rampants tomorrow night. That'd be a big thrill for you to hop on your own field like that.
Yep. And 6 o'clock tomorrow night. The weather's going to be good. Let's get a good crowd out there.
Get a good crowd out there. Rampants and Orange in the 3rd round of the state baseball playoffs. Ronald Vincent joining us. Thanks so much, RV, as we continue on our show. Pat Mcrae is the head coach at South Central. He's going to join us next. His Falcons are in the 3rd round, and a South Central win and a Rose win would put the Falcons against the Rampants in a big game coming up later on this week. Can't put the cart before the horse. We'll talk with Pat Mcrae coming up next as the Brian Bailey Show continues right after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Pirates are regular season AAC champs. Cliff Godwin's ball club has run off 10 wins in a row, including a 6-2 victory over USF yesterday in Greenville. The Pirates are 34-18. ECU is back on the diamond tomorrow night hosting Campbell at 6:30. The Orioles lost to the Tigers 5-1, dropping all 3 games in Detroit. Baltimore falls to 14-21. Miguel Cabrera hit career home run number 505 for the Tigers. The Braves lost in 11 innings to the Padres 7-4. The Nationals were shut out by the Astros 8-0. Justin Verlander the win. He's 5-1. The Yankees took care of the White Sox 5-1. New York is 25-9 in first place in the American League East. In Carolina League play, the Wood Ducks crushed Lynchburg 11-2, and the Mudcats doubled up Fayetteville 12-6. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf zero-turn mowers. They engineer their mowers to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf zero-turn mowers deliver professional grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. Come into Ron Ayers Motorsports to see the Hustler difference for yourself today. Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate fans, Derek Pizzeni from Carolina Wealth Management. Are you a fiduciary? That's a question every investor should ask their advisor. A fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. Is your advisor a fiduciary? You should know it's your money. At Carolina Wealth Management, we do things differently from other investment firms. To learn more about the benefits of working with a fiduciary advisor, visit mycarolinawealth.com. That's mycarolinawealth.com.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We continue on as we preview the 3rd round of the state baseball and softball playoffs. Carolina Hurricane hockey later on on our show. And at 3 o'clock later on today on PRL, Cliff Godwin joins the Pirate Radio boys as the Pirates celebrate another regular season championship in the American Athletic Conference. And don't forget, next week we'll be live from Clearwater, Florida with my show from Baycare Bank or Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater, the home of the Clearwater Threshers. And we'll be live for that coming up next week. Pat Mcrae is the head baseball coach at South Central. His Falcons are the 13th seed in the 3A East bracket. His Falcons have beaten Southern Wayne 2-0 and beat East Wake 5-4. So they're on to the third round, and they will take on the 21 seed North Brunswick, and they'll play at home again for the third straight game. South Central gets a home game, and that's a good thing for Coach Mcrae. But he joins us. Coach, congratulations on your run so far.
Hey, Brian, man, I really appreciate it.
When you look at this this conference, the Big Carolina 3A, 4A, and what you guys have to battle through, we just talked to Ronald Vincent, but he said, playing in a conference like this really gets you battle tested for the playoffs.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that, man. We've had a pretty top heavy conference this year, but the top is real heavy, man. You got Rose and Conley and us, and we all tied for the 3A, I guess for the conference championship, man. We swept Conley swept Rose swept us, and, it's just really, really good baseball in Greenville and Pitt County all around, man. So it definitely, I think all four of those games felt like playoff games, atmospheres, in March and April. So definitely gets you ready for the playoffs.
Coach, you guys lost to Rose March 18th, 2-0, then lost 12-2 in April 12th. But you could get another shot at the Rampants. But first things first, you don't put the cart before the horse, as I said, going the break. But you got North Brunswick coming to town, and there's been a lot of upsets on your side of the bracket, hasn't there?
Oh, yeah, there sure has, man. But I'm going to be honest with you, North Brunswick plays in a very good conference. So I wouldn't call what they're doing an upset. I'd just call it, maybe they're being overlooked by some teams, but we certainly are not going to overlook them. They play in that good Wilmington conference with like New Hanover and Ashley and Laney and Hoggard, so for them coming in at 11-11, that record is very deceiving, because if they were in another conference, they'd be right up there with, with us and Rose and Conley with those good records.
You had a great game the other night, the win over East Wake 5-4. Let me ask you about this. You came from behind, you got the victory, and then in the top of the seventh, before you got that victory, East Wake almost tied the game up, and it was a close play at the plate. And I looked at it on our video at the station. Did you have a different angle on it anywhere? Because I got to think you guys got a little lucky on that call. Did you think that?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Every video I looked at is a different angle, and I can't tell you if he was safe or out. But
yeah,
they called him out, so that's what I'm going to go with.
That's right.
Replaying the game.
That's the best way to look at it. And our angle wasn't great. We were down the third base line, and it just looked to me like the way the guy slid in and the tag came in. But on an angle like that, you never can tell where the player touches home plate, if he does touch home plate, because the angle we had didn't really show a player touching home plate, so you can't really tell about that. But it was a close play, wasn't it?
Oh, no doubt, man. And you got to throw a lot of credit to Scooter Waters. We run, we do that throw every single day in practice, man. So it's not, we do it exactly for that reason. So when it happens in a game, it's not a big deal. They've done it 1,000 times. And, he made a great throw. Daniel Pachulo, our catcher, moved over and made a good job. We practiced the tag at the plate every single day during practice, and every angle I've looked at, home plate was covered up by dirt. So
yeah,
to say where the plate was, but I know the tag was on the runner. So, and the umpire was in a good position.
He was.
Get the video. So it's hard to argue with the man. Maybe we got lucky, but I'm going to be honest, I'll take luck over skill any day of the week.
Hey, man, I've lived my whole life with that theory. I'll take luck any day of the week over any kind of skill. And in my case, there hasn't been a whole lot of skill, but I thought it was just a bang play at the play. I know the East Wake team really thought that they got robbed on the call, but it was so close, and it was just, it's really what high school baseball is all about, because the teams are so even, and that call could have gone either way. You guys took advantage of it. You got the call, you got the win, and now you're on to the third round. How exciting is it for you guys in baseball to be in this third round?
Oh man, it's huge for us. We haven't been past the first round in 4 or 5 years now, but I've got a great bunch, and they're excited every day at practice. They have a lot of positive energy every game, and it doesn't feel like the playoffs. It just feels like another day at practice when we go out there, which is a good attitude to have. because it doesn't feel like there's any pressure. You know, they're just out there playing ball. And that's a good attitude to have in the playoffs, especially this deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, we were just talking with RV about that. The finality of everything, you know, especially for the seniors, when they understand that, hey, you know, some of them will go on and play, you know, in college, but for the most part, once you play that last out, you know, it's done. And if you don't win the state championship, you know, your career ends. And it's just, you know, there's a lot of pressure there. But if you can get a team that's playing without pressure, that's a big positive.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. And honestly, the other night we went down 4-0. Boucher had an atypical inning. You know, the kid only gave up 2 earned runs for the whole regular season, and he turns around and gives up 4 in 1 inning against East Wake. And he just came out and he locked right in. And he threw the ball well, and none of the boys panicked, man. They just, you know, you could hear them in the dugout like, "Hey, chip away, get 1 here, get 2 there," you know, and that's exactly what they did. I think they got 1 in the 4th, or 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th, and ended up winning the ball game.
And that's what I was thinking when I got over after the newscast. Your softball team was playing and the baseball team playing, so we try to get a little bit of both. And I saw 4-0. I thought, well, the baseball team's in trouble, so let's go get some softball, and then we'll come back over and get some of the baseball. And the time I got back over there, you guys had cut it to 4-2, I think it was, when I got back over there. But like you said, you know, when you get down in the playoffs and add in what we just talked about, the finality and everything, that, you know, guys got to be thinking a little bit. But your squad didn't think a whole lot. They just went out and played.
No, man, they love being there, and you know, that was the biggest deficit we've had to overcome this year. So I was very proud of those guys and how gritty they ended up being. And you know, that East Wake team, I know their seed wasn't quite that high, but man, they beat a really good Scotland team.
Yes,
they came into our place and gave us all we could handle, man. So that wasn't a bad team. You know, their seed was not indicative of how good they were, because those guys hit the ball around really, really well, and they played good defense all night. Because I went back and looked at our stat sheet. We didn't have a single strikeout at the plate the other night, which means we were barreling baseballs up.
Yeah.
Just played good defense. So, you know, for those guys not to give up and to keep battling on and just having the mentality that if we keep hitting the ball, they'll fall in eventually, was really big for us.
All right, take us to the North Brunswick game. What's the key to getting to round 4?
Hey man, pitching defense. That's our thing. You know, we hit the ball as best as we can, and you know, we've been hitting the ball much better as compared to the beginning of the season. But our bread and butter is pitching and defense. And if we can give, Boucher and Baker are both eligible to throw. And I haven't quite made my mind up who I'm gonna throw yet. I may end up throwing both of them, but if we give either one of those guys any type of run support, I gotta feel good about our chances at winning. You know, and our goal every game, score the first run. You know, whether it be home or away, don't give nothing up, and then score the first run and build on a lead from there. And if we're able to do that, you know, I think we'll be okay.
And how big would that be for the county if you get Rose and South Central in that Eastern semifinal?
Oh, that'd be huge, man. I'd love to go over to Guy Smith and play under the lights in a few days, man.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, but we got to get through Tuesday first.
That's like the Conley Rose, and all that stuff last year was pushed back because of the COVID situation at the time. So we were in June playing playoff games. That was one of the biggest crowds I think I've ever seen for a high school baseball game, was Conley and Rose. So we'd have a big crowd at Guy Smith Stadium if you guys can get through your next round, and if Rose can advance against Orange. So that would be something to talk about next week. But first things first, you got North Brunswick, 6 o'clock start for South Central's Falcons. North Brunswick is the 21 seed, and South Central is the 13 seed in the 3A East bracket. Coach Mcrae, thanks so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it, and we wish you the very best of luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brian, man. I really appreciate you.
All right, Pat Mcrae, head coach at South Central, and the Falcons taking on North Brunswick coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock start over at South Central High School. Let's take another break. We will move to the smaller diamond, talking a little softball with Wayne Deans, Conley's fine coach. Those Vikings are the number 1 seed in the 4A East bracket, and they are rolling right now, 24-1 on the season. We'll talk to Coach Deans. Later on, we'll talk Carolina Hurricanes hockey with our good buddy Todd Gibson. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday after this.
The
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all your vehicle needs. Greenville Auto World believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Visit greenvilleautoworld.net to see their fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. Need a lift kit, custom rims, or wheels? Greenville Auto World can upgrade your vehicle today. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 in Greenville.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork. Come see us at Seared 7 days a week.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Bone. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Pepper, oh no they didn't! Papa John's just took their signature pepperoni and hand-stuffed it inside that garlic-kissed crust. Oh, now that's an epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza like no mouth has ever seen!
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza is only $13.99 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Have you stopped doing your favorite activity due to chronic aches and pains? Let Eastern Physical Medicine and Rehab help. They provide regenerative injection therapy that can help with osteoarthritis, joint pain, carpal tunnel, and plantar fasciitis. Eastern Physical Medicine and Rehab will help you get back into the groove. Eastern Physical Medicine and Rehab, 2245 Stantonburg Road, across from the hospital. Call 215-9294 for an appointment today.
This is Tim Doust, ECU Football Special Teams Coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. Coming up later today on PRL, Coach Cliff Godwin at 3 o'clock, CJ Mayhew at 3:30, Ryder Giles at 4, Bryson Worrell at 4:30, and Zach Agnos at 5 o'clock. The American Athletic Conference regular season champs. They clinched it this past weekend with that sweep over South Florida. As we stand right now, South Florida would be the opponent for East Carolina, but there's still a weekend series to be played. East Carolina has clinched the top seed as the regular season champ, but we'll have to wait and see. The Pirates will play shortly, sometime between noon and 1 o'clock that first Tuesday down in Clearwater, a week from tomorrow down in Clearwater, Florida, against the 8 seeds. So we'll talk more about that coming up later on throughout the week. Let's go to the phones now and join Wayne Deans, the head softball coach at D.H. Conley High School. 24-1 on the season, just one loss on the year, and his Vikings beat Pine Forest 14-1, beat Garner 11-1. As far as the playoffs are concerned, they take on the 24 seed Holly Springs. Holly Springs just 13-9 on the year. Holly Springs beat the 9 seed Cardinal Gibbons 3-2, and they beat the 8 seed Richmond County 12-4. They come to the Hollywood Crossroads coming up on Tuesday night for softball for D.H. Conley. Coach Deans, how are you?
Doing well. Hope you are.
Doing very well. All right, let's get this softball down pat. The Vikings at 24-1. You only lost was a 1-0 game to a very good Washington team, right?
Yes, sir. That was kind of like early on the season, but Washington was playing really well at that point and still playing really well.
and that they are. The Pan Pac really playing well as far as the playoffs go, and they're in the 2A bracket. So far in these playoffs, 2 big wins, 2 double-digit wins as far as that goes. This is a team that can really hit the softball, can it?
Yeah, we've been pretty blessed this season for the most part of really just hitting the ball with a lot of power and just some really smart base running, and we've seen some good pitching. So, I mean, certainly I've been happy with what we've been able to do offensively.
That's the one thing that when I was going through it with my daughter Caitlin and coaching travel ball and that kind of thing is hitting. We'd have 1 or 2 of them that would really have a good game or have a good weekend, but it seemed like consistently it was really hard to really get that in their heads exactly that you have to do certain things every time, and one little hitch and you're giddy up will mess you up. Do you find that when you're coaching, or have you perfected that with what you guys do hitting wise?
Well, I definitely won't say it's perfected, but one thing that we're constantly trying to get in their head is just make adjustments, because each pitcher that you see is not going to be the same. You may see a drop ball pitcher, so you're looking at a more north south type pitcher versus a curveball or a screwball pitcher. It's just being able to make those adjustments, and that needs to be from at bat to at bat or inning to inning, game to game, and you just gotta lock in each time you step in the box.
You guys have the 24 seed Holly Springs. We were just talking with Pat Mcrae and talked about the 3A baseball bracket with some of the upsets that they've seen and that kind of thing. And in your bracket as well, I mean, you got a 24 seed that has made it to the 3rd round. How good is this Holly Springs team?
Oh, they're very good. I mean, that's the thing. I think you at this point in the playoffs, you can just take away rankings, because rankings, all that does is tell you where you're going to play your game as far as who's hosting versus who's visiting. But they're really good. I mean, they've got 3 quality pitchers that they rotate in on a consistent basis, very fast on the bases, very aggressive team, well-coached team, because the coach there, Lauren Taylor, I've known her a long time. She played at Hornet Central. She was a pitcher. I think went on to play at Campbell University, and now in the coaching ranks. She's been in there for a while now, and she's doing a great job.
When you look at what you're dealing with as far as young ladies and social media and some of the pressures there, plus, and I've asked both the other coaches this today about you have prom and you have graduation, you have so many things outside of softball to worry about. Is it difficult to keep everybody on the same boat?
It is at times. I mean, and it's a situation where they're still teenagers. That they still want to live their lives and to have free time. But I've been very fortunate, and I would say with this group is they have really bought into the team concept that it's certainly we is greater than me. And when they're out there on the field, they're out there all working toward the same goal and really focused. And they work really well together. And that's another thing, that when you're coaching and you stay together for however many days, weeks, and months that we've been together, eventually you're going to kind of get on each other's nerves. But for the most part, we've done really well with maintaining. Hey, this is what we're trying to accomplish, and let's focus on that and not let the petty things get in the way.
Drop some names for us. Who are some of the players to look for on this Conley softball team?
Well, I will tell you this: if I was scouting us, I would be sort of frustrated simply because there's no 2 or 3 players that you got to constantly watch out for, because it's up and down the lineup. I mean, and we've got Emma Adams has really done a great job in the circle this year, pitching a lot of the games. Our outfield's been really strong. Anna Sawyer's our center fielder, kind of the general of the outfield, and we got 5 seniors, and they just and we got some mix of youth that they just all tend to work together, and everybody steps up at different points during the season. But we've had Olivia Knight behind the plate has been our steady person behind the plate. We've had kids offensively just performing at a very high level. Riley Trueblood has done really well, playing first base and doing a lot for us offensively. Trinity Nichols, Carson Fleming. I mean, I could just name the entire roster here, because they've all made huge contributions this year. It's not just been a small group of players.
When you try to scout a team like a 24 seed Holly Springs, how do you go about scouting them, and what do you know about Holly Springs?
Well, I mean, I feel like, I've been around a while coaching at this school, but just coaching in general, that you develop relationships with other coaches. And so it's an information battle. And if you're not seeking the information on an opponent, then you're not doing a very good job as a coach. So, I mean, I go out there and I contact people. Hey, the team that they played last or the team that they played middle of the season. And you just got to go out there and you just got to seek out the information. You're not going to get it off Mcrae. That's not going to help you. You can look at things online and see what's being posted out there. But really, it's just talking to the coaches that you have developed relationships with, and they trust you and you trust them to share information.
And sometimes, too, some of the girls will know some of the players just through the travel ball ranks and that kind of thing. They see each other in the summertime, and maybe they can help a little bit.
Absolutely. We've had that happen so far on the playoffs and during the season. And also, you hate to say this, social media.
Yeah.
And this is where we tell our players, be careful with social media. You see a lot of younger players are posting their videos of their hitting or pitching and talking about, like, hey, this pitch I throw, and here's how I do it, or this is how I hit this pitch. I try to tell my players, don't put that on social media because that is an instant scouting report.
That's true.
But there are a lot of players out there in the state that coaches aren't talking to their players about it. Trust me, we found a lot of stuff on social media about things.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing that there's a generation now that feels like they have to put everything on social media, whether it's their best pitch or the pitch that they hit the best or anything and everything.
Yeah, and to me, it's about, you don't want to stay private to the sense that you don't want people to know your accomplishments, but share the basics, share the minimum amount that you can share, and then let the rest be mystery.
All right, 6 o'clock start time. Is that right for you guys tomorrow night?
Yes, sir.
6 o'clock start time. And then as you guys go through the playoffs, you'd have one more round, and then you go into the best of three Eastern Finals. That's the same in softball, right?
Yes, sir. If we were to win Tuesday, then Friday would be our target for round 4, and then the regional will start the next week, and it is best 2 out of 3. As well as the state championship if we're lucky to get to that point.
Best 2 out of 3 would be home sites. Is that right?
Yeah, it would be typically with the regionals. First game would go to the higher seed, and then you would go on the road for game 2, and then if there is a necessity for game 3, it's back to the original host site.
Yeah. And that's how it was, but they've kind of, once the COVID wiped out one year, and then last year it was pushed back, and then they were changing some stuff around, but now we're back to where do you like the best 2 out of 3 for the regionals?
I do. I really feel like it gives you an opportunity as a team, if you have a bad game, that you at least have, that 3-game series you can make up for that one bad game, whereas when you play double elimination, where it was originally when I started coaching here, you would take 2 teams from the East, 2 from the West, classification, and you played that double elimination, you would play 2 games on the first day. The next day, if you were in the loser's bracket, you might play 3.
Right.
And it just is a lot in just a 2-day span.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it's so simple that when you're playing in a double elimination format tournament, people say we got to stay out of the loser's bracket, and it's so simply said, but it's the biggest key in everything. We go to the American Athletic Conference tournament, and it's the same thing. As long as you're winning, you're in good shape. But man, you get down that loser's bracket and game after game after game, and some teams do it, and we've seen teams throughout the years that can go all the way through that thing, but that really tests you.
And at this time of the year, with the way the temperatures are, the adverse weather, with thunderstorms popping up, I'd much rather know that I'm playing on this day, then 2 days later we're playing again, and then another day later. I'd rather have that format than doing the double elimination.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be good. Okay, you got a game tomorrow night against Holly Springs, and then if you win that game, you would advance to the 4th round. You would play that one at home again on Friday, and then the regionals would start next week. What's the key to beating Holly Springs? What do you guys have to do?
We're going to have to be better defensively than what we've been the last couple of games. We've had a few shaky moments, just some mental miscues. If we can play some solid defense and if our bats just keep lighting up the way they have lit up these last few games, I think we're going to have a good shot.
All right, Wayne Dean's head softball coach at D.H. Conley. Vikings 24-1, taking on the 24-seed Holly Springs tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the Hollywood Crossroads. Coach Deans, thanks so much. Good luck.
All right. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Wayne Dean's joining us. We'll take a final commercial break. We'll come back. Todd Gibson from CBS 17 in Raleigh, WNCN, getting set for Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Round 2 for the Canes and the New York Rangers. And Game 1 is set for Wednesday night in Raleigh. We'll talk with Gibby coming up next here on The Brian Bailey Show.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of The Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak or the seafood delight pasta. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House can feed your larger crowds with off-site catering and room for 125 in our adjacent banquet hall. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Join us at Purple Blossom Yoga Studio, Greenville's premier yoga studio, for our wide array of classes, including restorative, power, hot yoga, and more. We even fly into the weekend with our aerial yoga workshops. New to our studio? Check out our special for new yogis. 3 classes for only $30. Check out our website or social media for all the information and up-to-date schedules at Purple Blossom Yoga Studio. Purple Blossom Yoga, where your health and mindset collide and help you transform to a new you.
When I need jeans, I order online because I know exactly what I want. They have just one moving part, and if there's something wrong, I exchange them. Buying a vehicle, especially pre-owned, is way different. Lots of moving parts. You don't want to get stuck. For a worry-free purchase, visit Phelps Chevrolet. We've been here in town a very long time. You know us. You know we stand behind everything we sell. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Come get you one.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
This is Zach Agnos, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, getting your sports week kicked off. Let's talk Carolina Hurricane hockey. The Canes knock off the Boston Bruins in 7 games, and that 7th game featured 19,513 at PNC Arena, the largest crowd in arena history. Todd Gibson joins us. He was one of those at the game Saturday, I'm sure, from CBS 17 WNCN. Gibby, when you think about this Carolina Hurricane hockey team and what they've done so far this year, you almost have to look about what they can still do this year, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot on the line down the road for this team for sure. They've been fun to watch all season. They've been so consistent all year long. That's the one thing you can say about them is they play consistent hockey. You know, they play such a high level of hockey, such a fast pace that you wonder how they keep it up all season long. And Coach Brennanmore's been asked about that. You know, how do you guys do that? Well, they've just got a mentality. That's how they're going to play. They play 1,000 miles per second, and they just go. And they've done it all season long, and it's hard for teams to match that, and they haven't been able to match it. So that's the one thing they've done really well all season long. And like I said, they're just a good group of guys, and really, really fun to be around, and they play some really good hockey right now.
What was it like for Game 7? Was the crowd that much more into it because it was a 7th game?
The thing about the crowd's been consistent too. I mean, they've been, they've been loud right from the start. I think probably a little bit more this game. The Game 7 for sure was a little more amped up. I think they sustained it a little bit longer. They just right through the game they were just loud, really, really loud, and the guys have been adamant about saying just how much the crowd helps them because it's known as the loudest house in the NHL, and they bring it every night, and even the other teams, their players have acknowledged just how good the crowd is. So it's a great atmosphere. It's fun. They've kind of got a niche down here as far as the Hurricanes go, the fan base and everything, and they're doing a great job of bringing the energy and bringing it every game for this team, and it's helping them as they move through the playoffs.
One of the outstanding things I've been able to do this sports season is go to a Carolina Hurricanes playoff game, Game 2 the other night, and standing there with you as you were shooting the game, and I was kind of standing behind you, kind of watching it. Great angle to see the game from, but just being around that crowd and getting a chance to see it, and we're in Greenville and we have our big events with East Carolina football and Pirate baseball right now, clinching the American, but to get a chance to go an hour and a half to the west and be a part of a professional atmosphere. I mean, that was really cool. Hanging out with you was really cool. I mean, it was just a neat atmosphere, and those guys are fascinating to watch because they skate so fast. I always describe them as linebackers on skates, and some of the hits. And you remember Game 2, man, it was a brawl, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, and especially once the playoffs amp up, it's even more so. The hits are harder. The players skate faster, and just everything is magnified because one little mistake, one bad shift, and one mistake on a shift, it can cost you a series. And because all these games are going 7 games, and then it comes down to one shift. One shift's going to win the game. Somebody's going to be on the ice when that winning goal goes in. And if you made a mistake like last night, watching the Rangers game, watching Brock McGinn go to the box. Former Hurricane player, and it cost him the game. And it just you feel bad for guys like that, and it just shows you how the fine line of just one little mistake can, and your season's over. You play 82 games regular season, you play so many games in the playoffs, and with just one mistake, and all of a sudden your season's over. And it's just heart wrenching. But that's what makes these games so cool to cover, is because that's there and it's out there. And it's just amazing to watch these athletes put it on the line every shift.
This weekend, there were 7 Game 7s on the schedule between hockey and pro basketball. The most ever before that was 5. So they set a record for Game 7s. And as you said, man, there's nothing really in sports like a Game 7. I mean, there's just so much on the line. Now, the Hurricanes were back in Raleigh for practice today, and you just got finished with their practice. How were they today?
They were good. They practiced at their practice facility. I think there's something going on at PNC Arena today, and that's another thing. That they got this new beautiful practice arena, which will help them down the road. Bringing free agents. Free agents will want to play here. Just they want to play for Rod, but it helps to have nice amenities. But it was good today. Freddie Anderson still not on the ice today. I think most of us expected the goalie Freddie Anderson to be out there, but he wasn't. And Rod talked about that after practice today. Just he hasn't been on the ice yet, and he's not going to be able to play until he gets on the ice and shows that he can play. But it's funny now that Antti Raanta is playing so well. Those questions to Rod aren't coming anymore. When's Freddie coming? That's all you heard heading into the series because Anderson had one. He was one of the best 3 goalies in the entire NHL this season. He was fantastic, and you're thinking, oh my God. Our number 1 goalie's down. What are we going to do? And Raanta has been really, really good in the playoffs so far. So knock on wood. But the questions about him haven't been as fast and furious because of just how well Raanta has been playing. But the guys say, Brian, that they say that if they can play 5-on-5 hockey, they're confident that they can play. That they are confident. They say they are confident. They say they are better than any other team when they play 5-on-5. So that tells you their confidence level right there, which is through the roof, and they may not be wrong on that one because when they play 5-on-5 hockey, it's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, and that's the key. And they talked about that during the Bruins series. They got in trouble in Boston with some games because they had so many guys in the penalty box. And I go back to game 2. I think the Bruins had like 5 or 6 guys stacked up in the penalty box at one point because, as we said earlier, that was kind of a brawl. Now, the numbers indicate that the Canes have an advantage. Carolina was 3-1 this year against the Rangers. It's the second all-time playoff meeting between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. You remember the first one?
I do. It was just a couple of years ago. They swept them 3-0.
Yep, 3-0 in the Eastern Conference qualifying round. That was part of the COVID season, and that was up in Toronto. Was the only time they've played before. Carolina 33-20 all time in postseason games on home ice in PNC Arena. And the big stat: the Hurricanes have won 9 of their last 10 playoff series when they start on home ice, and that dates back to 2002. So it's not just
numbers out. Yeah,
it's unbelievable that the team can play that well in front of the home fans. Because, and you remember when hockey, the first talk about hockey coming to Raleigh and a professional sports team coming, and they played their first games in Greensboro. And, nobody really knew how the South and how, North Carolina's a basketball state. But and it's quickly becoming a hockey state, isn't it?
It really is. And the thing about the NHL now is, 3 of your top 6 best teams in the NHL are Southern teams. Florida, Tampa Bay, and Carolina this year. That's. I'm sure for the old timers, Brian, they're probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really cool watching how this area has embraced hockey. I mean, but then again, you already had a lot of people who have been transplants down here who have a hockey background. Coming in from the north. There's no question about that, and they just kind of adopted the Hurricanes as their team. Now, there's a bunch of, like Pittsburgh fans and Ranger fans and Buffalo fans that have come down here who still hold dear to those teams they grew up with, but they also have kind of adopted the Hurricanes. They'll go to the Hurricanes games and cheer for them when their team isn't playing the Hurricanes. So, there's a lot of good things going on down here. Brendan Moore as the head coach, players so respect him, and then, like I said, I think that's why there's a chance down the road where more and more of the better players who think about where do I want to end my career, instead of thinking, well, let's go to Montreal or someplace they're trying to where they love hockey, obviously, and it's a big deal. Why not come to Carolina and play for Rod Brendan or play in a system that is tailored to how they play? So the hockey right now in North Carolina, Brian, especially in Raleigh here, it's in a really, really good place.
Is this your favorite sport to cover? I mean, you get a chance to do so much with college football in the Triangle and ACC basketball in the Triangle. And I would have thought for years that ACC basketball would be tops, but I got a feeling the Hurricanes are right up there.
Yeah, well, I've always loved college football, to be honest with you, but college basketball too, just because of the how good the teams are here. But there's just nothing like covering NHL hockey. Right now it's my favorite for sure. One reason is because the guys are so accessible. They're really good to work with. They know ever since they came to Raleigh, or for that matter when they were in Greensboro too, they've always had the attitude that they know they have to do a little bit more, give a little bit more to the media because they want to boost the sport. It's a sport where they're trying to get the fans to come out, and they knew that they had to be good with the media so we could get the word out. Just to be for those positive vibes that maybe would draw some fans in. So they worked really hard with the media through the years, to try and get this sport to where it is. And right now, there's no other sport I'm watching right now on TV, Brian. I'm not watching the NBA finals. I'm not NBA playoffs. I'm not watching any of that.
I agree.
It just doesn't compare with the NHL playoffs. It's night and day. It really is.
All right, Gibby, before we let you go, what's the key to Carolina advancing to the next round?
Well, I think I'm going to have to be just like the players, just like Brendan Boyd. Got to stay out of the box. Play 5-on-5 hockey. It was good to see the Rangers goalie, Shesterkin. He was kind of human last series. He's been great all season long. But the Rangers, they're really good offensively, but there's no team alive in the NHL right now, playoffs, that play defense like Carolina. So if they play their defense, stay out of the box, they'll win the series, and it'll probably be easier than the first series.
There you go. Todd Gibson from WNCN, CBS 17 in Raleigh. Gibby, thanks so much. Hopefully we'll see you Wednesday night.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Good
All right. All right. I want to thank Todd Gibson for joining us from Raleigh to talk Carolina Hurricanes hockey. I also want to thank Ronald Vincent, head coach at J.H. Rose. His Rampants taking on Orange tomorrow night at Guy Smith Stadium at 6 o'clock. I want to thank Pat Mcrae, head coach at South Central. His Falcons are at home against the 21 seed North Brunswick coming up tomorrow night, 6 o'clock start time. I also want to thank Wayne Deans, the head softball coach at D.H. Conley. His Vikes 24-1 on the year, and they take on Holly Springs in that third round matchup coming up tomorrow night. If the teams win, they play in the fourth round coming up Friday, and then, of course, head to the regional best 2 out of 3 rounds later on, but still lots to be played coming up. Don't forget PRL Live, Pirate Radio Live, PRL coming up this afternoon. Cliff Godwin will join the guys to talk about this Pirate baseball team having clinched the American Athletic Conference Championship. We'll be live with you coming up on Monday, next Monday, from Clearwater, Florida, as we preview the American Baseball Tournament. That'll be a lot of fun. It always is, year in and year out. Have yourself a great sports week, and we'll see you back here from Clearwater on Monday.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
Join us next week for another edition of The